into the corner to Malik Beasley, and he buries another three. Malik Beasley on fire. Malik Beasley has just set a new career high with 3 dozen. It almost lost it to Salon, gets it back, drives, and scores. Cade with a lob. JD with the jam. Cade with a rebound. Give him a triple-double. A steal, 3-on-1. Lob, Hardaway to Asar for a jam. Cade does to the basket for a jam. Count that, baby, and a foul. Cade keeps the basketball, lobs to Jalen Duren. What a jam! First of all, what a catch!
He's putting on a show.
And then a finish.
What I said earlier. Don't touch me, I'm sizzling. He's sizzling.
Dennis Schroeder drives. Flips it up off the high glass and hits it. Count that, baby, and a foul. Cade snapped the pass into the corner to Asar Thompson. Started the basket, reverses and scores off the window. Schroeder will trigger. Basket cut. Asar Thompson. What a play. A standing O for these Pistons who win their 7th straight basketball game. How many? Jalen Duren just showed the crowd.
Sizzling. The Pistons and Boston Celtics come in both with some pretty heady win streaks. Pistons with 7 in a row. Boston with 6 in a row after upending the Toronto Raptors at their place last night. Of course, the Pistons coming off that big win over Trae Young and the Hawks on Monday. Hi, everybody. This is Pistons Live alongside Grant Long. I am Johnny Kane. And I'll tell you what, remember what Mike Singletary once said, I want winners.
Doesn't everybody?
Pistons have a chance for the longest win streak in a decade. Okay,
Yep.
Going back to 2014, 2015. An 8th straight win over the Celtics would be their longest going back to 2006. As my dad likes to say, are we having fun yet?
Well, I think we are right now. This is the perfect time for the Pistons to be playing. You got a hot team like the Boston Celtics coming in to match the hot team of the Detroit Pistons. Boy, this is one you just got to sit back and take it all in.
You look at like the offensive rating, defensive rating, Pistons points per game, assists per game. They've got everything going during this win streak. Obviously, tonight's going to be a formidable challenge because the champs are in town. In tonight's Xfinity look around the league, we want to key in on the Eastern Conference standings because Cleveland's won 8 straight, okay? They're well out front of everybody. Best record in the NBA, 48-10. Boston holding firm in second. Knicks have shown a little vulnerability, but they're still in third. But the 4 through the 6 seeds are separated by just a game. Indiana, Milwaukee, and Detroit. Pistons right now just a game behind the 4 seed and an opportunity to host a playoff series. So with the champs in town here, G-Long, do you see Boston potentially surpassing Cleveland by season's end?
I'm going to say definitively no. I just don't see it. That means that Cleveland Cavaliers would have to just stumble and fall flat on their face, and I just don't foresee that happening. The Boston Celtics are playing, as I mentioned, a good brand of basketball. But you remember, if in order for the Celtics to do what they have to do and surpass the Cavaliers, again, the Cavaliers just have to completely fall apart. The wheels have to fall off the wagon completely. And again, I just don't believe that will happen.
I'm in agreement with you on that one. I think, Cleveland's the superior team, although it still feels like Boston is the favorite to win it all. So once you get to the playoffs, that's a whole different deal. But
yeah, and I agree. The Celtics are just now getting interested. They've been playing and kind of, I wouldn't say coasting, but they've been biding their time, and they're ramping up for playoff because they've won the championship. Yeah. You remember, they played the longest, so they've got to keep themselves interested throughout the regular season, and this is the point where they start to make their push and start jockeying and settling in for that second place.
82 games is a long haul. If you're an NBA diehard, you know that the league has obviously shifted to placing a premium on three-point shooting. So, and nobody in the association takes more threes or generates more of their offense than the Boston Celtics from three-point land. 46%. Using our GMC Provision, if you're the Pistons, how do you game plan against a team like Boston?
Well, you got to send everybody out to the perimeter, especially to the known shooters of the Celtics, and run them off. Everybody has to be, or rather the perimeter players for the Celtics, you have to play them as if they've picked up their dribble. And what that means is you can't be close enough. You got to be so close that you smother them and force them to put the ball on the deck to create something off the dribble penetration. And even if they do that, you've got to be able to stay home on the shooters. Remember, 2 is less than 3. So if you take away the 2 and give up the 3, you still lost in that possession. So the Pistons have to be disciplined and make sure that they can keep the ball in front of them and make sure that they contest those shots and play close enough. Remember, within an arm's length, when you got a team that shoots as well as the Celtics, that's not close enough. You've got to be within a body.
Got to be in them.
You've got to be right there to tell you, as they said in Hoosiers, what kind of gum or the flavor of gum that player has right now. That's how close you have to be.
All right. Well, the one thing the Pistons don't necessarily want to do, even though they can shoot at a high clip from deep, you don't want to get into a shooting contest with these guys.
No, and I remember when the Golden State Warriors first started to make the three ball fashionable, everybody started to be a chameleon when they came across and played the Golden State Warriors. Everybody wanted to get up heavy loads of 3-point shots. Well, you got to understand the Warriors are the best. They were the best in the league at doing it. And currently, when you talk about it, Johnny, the Celtics are using the three ball for the bulk of their offense. So this is what they do. You're not going to outshine them in that category. So you've got to do a better job of defending those 3-point shots and make sure you play into your strengths like the Pistons have been over the last 6 or 7 games, playing in transition and scoring the ball in the paint.
Yeah, getting out transition, that'll be one of the keys, obviously, for the Pistons. That's when they play at their best. Before we switch on from Boston, Kristaps Porzingis, obviously 7-footer, he can hurt you with his back to the basket, but he also stretches the floor, and that's a problem because he's one of those guys who can hurt you from deep.
It's a major problem because now you talk about a guy, as you mentioned, who can play well on the inside. He's a 7-footer plus, and he's a guy that can shoot the ball from distance, and he's not like one or two of them. He's not maybe sometimes he's going to make them. He's consistently good from the 3-point line. So you talk about your defensive rotations, you've got to account for him as well. There's nobody on this Boston Celtic team that you can give an outside shot to because they will capitalize. There he is in that mid-range shot. Every night he's going to be taller than the opponent that's guarding him. So he's got a distinct advantage to be able to shoot over the smaller defenders. And he's very crafty and clever when he gets the ball around the basket. He understands that guys are going to come and try to swipe the ball and take it away. So he keeps it high where he has an advantage there to shoot over, again, the smaller defenders.
The Pistons bigs, they'll have to put some bodies on him. That'd be an Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren. Duren shooting at a very high clip offensively, 69% this season from the floor. But we saw, obviously, in the last game against Atlanta, 19 rebounds as well. He's playing the best basketball of his career right now.
I think for Duren, he's got to enter this game with a high motor. Because activity will really give problems to Porzingis if he's going to match him up one-on-one. If his activity is high, he's going to be able to do this. Outrun Porzingis up and down the floor. His movement off the ball, Cade's going to find him if he's in that open crevice to receive those lobs. That's a bonus right there, the turnaround jump shot. This is what we want to see more of from Duren because he's been very effective over the last 6 or 7 games, shooting a very high percentage from the field. And maybe, just maybe, if he can continue with this dunking thing, right now the Pistons lead the NBA in all dunks. So he's a big part of that. So let's keep that going. That increases those points in the paint as well.
Yeah, one of the big guys teeing him up on the alley side of the oop has been Cade Cunningham. Let's make every moment more with FanDuel Sportsbook. Today's same-game parlay. Cade, we know he's been assisting at a high clip, but also scoring the basketball at an exceedingly high clip since the All-Star break. Right now, $10 would win 47 and change. Cade's got to score 25 or more. Malik Beasley, the marksman, 3 or more triples in this game. And then Ausar Thompson, who's kind of like a unicorn, 2 or more steals. We can see him, obviously, getting up at the basket and scoring, but defensively, he wreaks a lot of havoc. When you watch Ausar Thompson play, what are you seeing?
Well, 2 things that that Ausar Thompson has that a whole lot of other teams or players don't have. Very quick hands and a very high level of anticipation. That's what you have to have if you're going to be one of the high guys in the NBA. What comes up with forcing turnovers. There he is, right place, right time. But let's try to highlight his quick hands. Look at this, right there. Gets his hands right in the passing lane, and he's taking off. Here he is again. Good anticipation. The dribble going to the left. He gets there before the guy can put it back down on the floor. Here he is again, running in transition, sets it up for Duren, or rather Duren sets him up for the easy alley-oop. Again, playing in the passing lane, you have to have a high level of anticipation. And if you're going to play in the passing lane, you have to have very active and quick hands, and he's at the top of the list with both of those.
Well, you can make every play, pass, and point mean more with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. You just scan the QR code to make every moment more with FanDuel. The Detroit Tigers made their spring training TV debut earlier today down in Lakeland, Florida. And although the game didn't necessarily go in favor of the Tigers, they lost 4-0 to the Twins, but it's spring. I think they ran 8 or 9 pitchers out there, but Tarek Skubal, really good. 2 innings of work, had a 10-pitch, 1-2-3 first inning. And you can see here the upcoming broadcast schedule coming up on Sunday. Tigers will be traveling to face the Pittsburgh Pirates. And then on to Orioles, Yankees, Rays, Pirates, Red Sox, Yankees. It is a full slate. We wish all of the Tigers and the Tigers broadcast crew the best here throughout spring training. More to come here on Pistons Live right after this.